the last slide, process query results. At the end, the final step, we need to process return query results. All right. When the query result is returned in the result set object, I just described it before, the format of the return data in the 2D. So here, this is 2D array, okay? 2D array. So it is in tabular format by rows and columns. Yeah. All right. Now we need to process this data. All right. First, we get that result RS object containing the returned tabular data. Okay? Yeah. Second, we need to do iterations because every time we can only retrieve one row of the data. All right. So we do iteration. Iterate all the rows of the result. Right? All right. But when you do that iteration, you need to understand in this way, there is a hidden cursor. Because when you read the row, you need to have a cursor to tell DBM, not DBMS, tell the Java. Yeah, because this step we do processing in Java. So this is not in DBMS. We need to tell Java which row to read the data. Yeah. So we need a cursor, hidden cursor. So we cannot see it. Yeah. We can imagine it, but we can control it. Yeah. Pointing to the current row. Right? Yeah, we can control it. We can move this cursor. Okay. All right. Initially, the cursor is positioned before the first row. Yeah. Before you read any row. Okay? Before you read any row, the cursor is placed before the first row. That's its location. Yeah. That means if you do not move the cursor, you cannot read any data. It's empty. Before the first row, empty. Yeah. So that means if you want to read the first row, you need to move this cursor down by one row. Move down by one row. Okay? Yeah. Then you can read the data. But how to move it? There is a next method you can call it. RS, so this object dot next. Okay? Next method. So it places the cursor to the next row. Okay? Yeah. Next row, yeah. The first time you call it, so it moves to the first row. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. So let's look at the code. We put this. So you can see this method returns a Boolean value, true or false. True or false. True when you move to a new row, if that row is not empty, it returns true. Okay? Non-empty row, this next method will return true. But at the end, suppose after you finish the last row, you call next another time, now you get an empty row. Nothing, so it will return false. Okay? So using this method, we can use the while loop to go through all the rows that contain data. Yeah. All right. So now, inside the while loop, our cursor is placed on a non-empty row, the current row. So we can retrieve data. So here, get a string 1. 1 corresponds to the first field. First field. Field. Yeah. Multiple rows, right? First, second, third, fourth, right? In that order. So 1, you retrieve the first column field, and so on. Yeah. If it's a string, you call get a string. If it's an integer, you call get int, and so on. Okay? Yeah. All right. Then if the second one, the volt number, it's an integer, yeah. So in our query, yeah, because in our query, here, we may use the survey option, remember? Yeah. If we use the select survey option, okay. That is a string, right? Yeah. Second one, votes. We want to know the votes. Okay? From, yeah, I should use capital, yeah, whatever, yeah. Just not used to writing all capital letters. Yeah, anyway, yeah. From the table name, right? Table name, survey results, right? I remember the table name, survey result. Okay, yeah. Where, right? Yeah. So whatever, yeah. Yeah. But this one, we may not use where. We want to get the whole table. All right. Look at your query. Your query returns 2 fields. Field 1, field 2. Okay? So field 1, it is a string, so we use get string. Field 2, we use votes, that's integer, so we use get integer. Okay? Yeah. So that's the way we retrieve the data. After you get the data, then you organize in your Java program. So you just do the right way to organize your data. The last step in you organize your data. All right, yeah, that's it. Yeah. So this is the whole JDBC technology from beginning to end. So not very complicated. So if you can understand all the steps in details, then you can use it. You can use it to do your Java web development using databases. Yeah. The last